This is the AlphaTheta, formerly Pioneer DJ, DDJ-FLX2, a new entry-level DJ controller designed to replace the DDJ-200 that came before it. This fixes the biggest error on the DDJ-200, namely it now has audio circuitry in it so you can plug in headphones and speakers, which means that it's perfectly possible to start DJing and even to play your first DJ sets on this, as you're about to find out. In this review then, I'll talk you through the features, we'll look at the price point, we'll look at the software it works with, we'll look at how to set it up, and you'll get a sense of whether it might be a good purchase for you, especially if you're a beginner, but also maybe you just want something very portable and simple that you can DJ on as well as your main system. Maybe you've got a big system like this, but you want something that can throw in a bag and go away on holiday with you or whatever. For all those reasons, there might be a case for you buying this exact unit. Let's get started then. So we've got a very small compact DJ console, but everything is kind of where you'd expect it. Performance pads at the bottom, you've got the pitch controls here, you've got jog wheels which are perfectly serviceable, a reasonable size for the size of the unit, proper full 3-band EQ with a effect knob as well, and 2 up faders, and you've got the crossfader there as well. As you saw a second ago, we've got a headphones and a speakers output. Now these are 8-inch mini jacks, but you get the right lead and you can plug them into any speakers. Of course, the headphones are fine with that. They have their own little volume controls down here tucked away on the side as well. Around the back of the unit, simplicity itself, there's a single USB-C input for plugging to your computer or to a mobile device, because as we'll find out, it works with those as well. On the top of the unit then, as well as the stuff I just pointed out, there's a few little features that involve pressing keystrokes in order to make them happen. Here, we've got the usual 1, 2 and master for monitoring in the headphones, but if you hold down the shift button you can turn the usual color effects, which are usually set to filter, but you can set them to other things as well. You can turn those to the smart color effects, which give you slightly more exciting ways of using those, and you can also choose between those by holding down the shift button and again pressing these effects buttons here, which are the shift version of these 2 headphone monitor buttons. Down on the pads we've got hot cues, pad effects, which are worth getting to know because there's no separate effects strip on here, loop, and even the sampler as well. And look, that's about it for the controls on the unit. Let's talk about the software it works with. Well, this is one of the plus points of it because it works with rekordbox and it unlocks a good version of rekordbox software, which means that really you're getting for your money not just a piece of hardware, but a piece of DJ software that is increasingly very good indeed, and it's got a lot of features on it, which we'll touch on just a few of them in a second. However, it also works with Algorithm's DJ Pro and with Serato DJ Lite, both of which are cut down versions quite severely of their respective bigger platforms, but they have got features that you might want as well. You might already own Serato. Well, it works with Serato, and DJ Pro isn't the most expensive subscription, and it's a very good piece of DJ software. It works with streaming services within those software platforms as well. So for instance, inside rekordbox you get the 4 classic streaming services: SoundCloud, Tidal, Beatport and BeatSource. But you want to use Apple Music? Well, that's one of the ones that's included in DJ as well, for instance. So there are options for you to get your music into it if you're brand new and you don't own any music yet. So this unit here does have a little wild card, which is this symbol here that involves you using a Bluetooth connection to get it to work with a mobile device, maybe a smartphone or a laptop. I don't recommend going down that route because it means that none of this sound stuff is going to work properly. However, it is useful to know you've got that, especially if you're buying it for someone who's just got a phone and just wants to be super casual with their DJing. So Bluetooth there, but again, you will need some extra bits. You'll need some USB power to make it work, and you'll need something called a splitter cable, which basically gives you a version of the audio bits I was just pointing to on here, but using your phone, and you'll need a headphones adapter and stuff. Don't go down that route really. The best way to use this is definitely wiring it with a proper cable to a laptop running. Might as well use rekordbox because it's very good software, and this unit unlocks it. As I say, it's one of the big advantages of the unit. Now, while it's got all those good things, there are bits missing that you might expect to see on any DJ controller. There's no microphone socket anywhere, so you can't plug a mic in to talk to your audience. There's no way of selecting the track to play next. You're going to have to do that using a mouse and keyboard on your software, or if you've got it plugged into a mobile device, on that mobile device. There's absolutely no metering at all on here. You can't tell whether the music's playing too loud or not, but there's no gain controls either. So the ability to make it play too loud is kind of limited as well. And if you've got auto gain set in the software, which you can do quite easily by heading into the settings in your software, going to controller, going to mixer and making sure auto gain is turned on, then you shouldn't really need to worry about ever distorting your audio through this unit. It's just something that on bigger units you'd expect to see. Let's have a look at some of the features then. So these are the pads, and you select them by holding down shift and pressing pad mode here, and then you choose the pad mode you want. So I want hot cues there, and now I can add hot cues. Again, shift and pad mode, and then choose another mode, pad effects. So now I've got my effects. I've got 8 effects here I can choose from. Moving on, we've got our loop mode. And we've got our sampler, which I'm not going to demonstrate, but it's there. Now we've got effects up here as well, which are controlled with this smart effects button here. So normally these channel effects here will be set as per how they are on most Pioneer DJ gear. So this is currently set to a filter. In fact, it isn't because I've got that turned on. It's currently set to a filter. Right, this is what you'd expect to find. And you can change that in the software settings to some other things as well. They're called color effects. But if you hold down shift and press this, you get the smart effects. And there's quite a few of these you can choose from. And so you can select between them. So you can see on the screen now all the smart effects that I could choose from there. Quite nice. And the way you select those is by holding down shift and pressing 1 and 2, as I was saying earlier. The jog wheels may be small, but they've got a nice feel to them and quite responsive. Can't really get the best spin back on them because they stop too quickly. But hey, they're pretty good for the size of the unit and the price. And it also has smart fader effects, which are an easy way of mixing between one song and another when you're not actually trying to learn to DJ and you just want to move from track to track, which if you're super casual about your DJing, I guess is worth having. But it's not something that we would recommend you start using if you want to learn how to do this stuff properly. I'm actually happy to DJ on this. I think this is fine. I would happily teach you to DJ on it. In our complete DJ course, we don't care what gear you use. I can use it all. You should be able to use it all. And this unit here is absolutely fine for learning to DJ on, which I couldn't say about the one that came before it. That's the big difference, because it fixes the biggest problem, which is you get proper audio monitoring, which is absolutely essential for learning to DJ. Wire it to a laptop, use the generous version of rekordbox 7 that comes with it and that it unlocks, and you're good to go. You can do so much more than you could do years ago on 2 turntables and a mixer. But then that's the same with all digital DJ gear. The point is you've got all the controls you want down here, and there's not an awful lot missing. I guess the thing I would miss the most is just having a library control, because you have to go to the computer to select the tunes that you want to play. But that's what you're getting for a smaller unit. I mean, most people, we would recommend you start with this exact one, the DDJ-FLX4, because like the Flex 2, it can work with all kinds of software, Serato, rekordbox that comes with it, also Algorithms DJ. Like the Flex 2, it can work with mobile and tablet devices as well as laptops if you do want to go down that route. But it's got all the controls on it that are missing on here and that you might find that you miss, like library controls and proper looping controls, and much better pad controls, proper gain controls. It's got the effects strip, etc, etc. However, it's an awful lot bigger than this one, right? An awful lot bigger. Now, if you want something small, if you want something a bit cheaper, if you want something portable, and maybe if you already own a bigger system, as I said earlier, this could be just the one for you. Again, the biggest thing it fixes is the big problem with the old one, which is you now get proper audio, which really was a deal breaker on the old one. I never understood why they didn't put that on there. It was like a throwback to the very first controllers when you were expected to own an audio interface. Should you buy it then? Well, that depends. You have to pair it with some speakers, and you need some headphones. So if you're looking for a really cheap system, this is, I'm going to do it all in pounds, but you can do your conversions. This is £189, which isn't actually that cheap, to be honest. If you added in, say, a £50 pair of basic DJ monitors, Hercules do a good pair, and then a £20 pair of DJ headphones, again, Hercules is a good brand. That's an extra, say, £70. So you're looking at £260 for a beginner setup. Not bad. But I've just mentioned one brand twice, Hercules, and that's because they are really, really good at this bargain basement type DJ gear. Their Impulse series, like the Impulse 200 and 300, are cheaper than this. And the thing is, you're not getting the record box software. And I honestly think access to a really good package like this is kind of what you're paying for as much as the hardware when you buy something like this. So just bear that in mind if you are looking for something a bit cheaper. The software that comes with it is certainly not something you'll see many other DJs using when you buy those real bargain basement brands. With this one, you are getting the same software that you would be using if you ever moved up and up and up, if you like, and ended up DJing on this kind of thing. Same software, same library, same preparation, which is actually a really big plus point for this tiny little unit. Also, again in pounds, this one, the Flex 4, is a lot better equipped. It really is. So it might be £90 more. So this is like 279, I think, at the time of recording this, as opposed to 189 for this one. But you are getting all the kind of functionality that looks and feels a lot more like the gear higher up the food chain from Pioneer DJ and AlphaTheta, whereas they have taken an awful lot off of this one here. That said, this is perfectly adequate. If you haven't got any more room, if you haven't got any more money, or you just want something tiny that you can carry around everywhere you go, the Flex 2 is now a viable option in a way that the DDJ-200 before it wasn't. And that is the big plus point here. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have and you want more, then do subscribe to the channel. But more importantly, head over to digitaldjtips.com and join our free community. And when you're ready, I'd love to welcome you onto my complete DJ course, where I can teach you to DJ on this and then upwards from this on all other DJ gear as well. It's a phenomenal investment in your DJing. So come and take a look at digitaldjtips.com and click on our complete DJ course when you're ready. And of course, if you didn't know, we're behind the best-selling book on how to DJ on Amazon, Rock the Dance Floor. So head over and take a look at that as well. Meanwhile, from me, Phil Morse, here in the studio, get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you for another review very soon.